All right, let's get right into it. There is a huge crisis brewing at one of the world's biggest football clubs, and it's all about their biggest star. Over at Liverpool, the relationship between the club and Mohamed Salah, well, it's hit a breaking point, and the whole thing has just spilled out into the open with some pretty explosive interviews.
So what kicked this whole thing off? It really all starts with this one number, 3. For the very first time in his entire professional career, Mohamed Salah has been left on the bench for 3 straight matches. Now, for a player like Salah, this is way more than just a tactical switch. It's a huge, dramatic statement from the club. And, well, it's a statement he was not going to take lying down.
After a really disappointing 3-3 draw that just made the team's struggles even worse, Salah finally broke his silence. And his words, man, they carried all the weight of his years there and a real deep sense of betrayal. He said, "I have given a lot to this club. Today, I sit on the bench. I don't know why." Wow. I mean, that quote just gets right to the heart of his frustration, doesn't it?
So you gotta ask, how did we even get here? For weeks, there'd been all this talk, all this speculation swirling around about Salah's relationship with the new manager, Arne Slot. But after that draw, the speculation stopped, and all that private frustration just exploded out into public.
And look, we need to be crystal clear here. This wasn't just some minor grumble after a bad game. Oh no, Salah unleashed this torrent of complaints aimed right at the manager and the people at the top of the club. He basically feels that after everything he's done for them, he was being totally sidelined, and worse, turned into the scapegoat for the team's bad form. He used this really powerful phrase to describe how he felt the club was treating him. He felt like he was being thrown under the bus. I mean, that metaphor just perfectly captures that feeling of betrayal, of being sacrificed to save everybody else. And what's so wild is just how direct he is. Listen to this. "It seems the club is throwing me under the bus. There is someone who wants to put all the blame on me." So in his mind, this isn't an accident. He believes there's an actual campaign inside Liverpool to make him look like the problem. And he's decided, you know what? I'm going to fight back. So what are his actual complaints? Well, if you break it all down, it's really about 3 big things. First, he's saying the club made him a bunch of promises over the summer that they just haven't kept. Second, his relationship with the manager, Arne Slot, has gotten so bad that apparently they're not even talking anymore. And finally, there's just that gut feeling that he's the one being unfairly singled out for the team's failures. And this brings us to a really crucial question. Is this just a simple fallout between a player and a new manager? Or is Liverpool playing a totally different, much more calculated game here? Let's think about the 2 possibilities, right? On one hand, yeah, it could just be a clash of personalities. It happens. But on the other hand, there's this much more cynical theory floating around, that this is all part of a very carefully planned financial move by the club. Okay, let's walk through this cynical theory, because it's a wild one. The idea is that Liverpool's decision to give Salah a new contract wasn't about loyalty at all. Think about it. Massive offers were on the table from Saudi Arabia, and his old contract was almost up. Liverpool was facing losing him for nothing. So what do? They give him a new deal to protect his price tag. The plan, according to this theory, if he plays well, great. If not, you create a conflict, make his exit look like it's his fault, and then you can sell him for a gigantic transfer fee. You turn what could have been a total loss into a huge profit. You know, this kind of epic fallout between a club and a superstar player, it's not exactly new in football, right? And to really get how serious this is for Liverpool, it actually helps to look back at some other famous bust-ups. The most obvious comparison, of course, is the whole Cristiano Ronaldo mess with Erik ten Hag at Manchester United. But, and this is a huge but, there's one critical difference. When United's board backed their manager, it was because Ten Hag's project was actually showing signs of progress. Liverpool right now is in a total tailspin under Arne Slot. The team looks bad, the results are even worse. So backing the manager in a situation like this, that is a much riskier bet. Salah also brought up something else, how he feels the English media treats him. He argues there's a serious double standard. You know, when an English hero like Harry Kane has a dry spell, the story is always patient. Oh, he'll get his goals, just a matter of time. But for Salah, an Egyptian player, he feels the criticism is instant and it's harsh. He just doesn't feel like he gets the same protection that the English players do. And then there's the comparison with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at Arsenal. Manager Mikel Arteta froze him out, but that was after a really clear drop in his performance and his professionalism. So in that case, most people thought the club was justified. But with Salah, that argument just doesn't fly.
His fitness levels are still top tier, and you can never question his commitment on the pitch. It makes what the club is doing so much harder to defend. So, all of this, it all comes down to one absolutely monumental choice for the Liverpool board. A choice that is going to define the club's future, for sure. It's a simple but huge dilemma. Salah or Slot? I mean, who do you back? The club legend? The guy who breaks goal-scoring records for fun? Who is probably your single most valuable asset? Or do you back the new manager and his long-term plan and send the message that no player is bigger than the club? There is no easy answer here. If you think about it, backing Salah is kind of the safe bet. It means you keep your guaranteed goals and you keep the massive global fan base happy, but backing Slot? That's a gamble. It means you're committing to a rebuild under a manager whose future, let's be honest, is completely up in the air right now. But what if there's a third, even more disastrous outcome? The truly terrifying possibility for Liverpool fans isn't having to choose one over the other. No. The worst-case scenario is that the club sells Salah to fix the problem, but then Arne Slot's project still fails and he gets fired anyway. In that situation, Liverpool ends up with absolutely nothing. No star player, no manager, and a future that's just in pieces. The big question now is, can they find a way to avoid it?